Right guys, so we're in Cardiff, obviously my hometown, 5:45 in the morning, and we're just off to 30 Plus Boot Camp Cardiff. It's obviously where we're starting the tour. Very poignant because it's where I set up 30 Plus Boot Camp back in 2010. I had the idea here in 2010, and yeah, it's the flagship boot camp. Obviously we've grown exponentially since then. We've got 6 locations, 7th one opening, and it's going to snowball from there. But obviously really excited to kick off the tour in this part of the world. We've got a fantastic bunch of lads. Okay, so here we go. Been waiting for this for a long time, dreaming of this for a long time. The tour starts now. We're going to get the show on the road. We kick it all off in the next half an hour.
Yeah, so normally Friday mornings with Abby is turn up and get absolutely roasted. So now we've had 10 minutes to calm down, we've had 10 minutes to recover, and we're having
to shake a bit now.
Yeah, need some sugar, need some carbohydrates, but yeah.
My name's Abby, I'm the coach here at 30 Plus in Cardiff. I'm the only female coach actually across the 30 Plus brand.
So 30 Plus to me has been a bit of a life changer. I just turned 30 a couple of years ago. I've got 2 kids, and the usual thing happened. Suddenly didn't have any time to myself, didn't have the impetus to think. Priorities changed, and I got fat basically. I let myself go. But I had what I class as the opposite to anorexia, which is, you know, I looked in the mirror and I saw a fit young guy. The truth was that the fit young guy was now padded quite well, and he wasn't so young anymore, and you know, it was taking longer to get up in the morning, etc, etc, and you know, eventually something had to give, and it started affecting me, you know, mentally and everything. And
so I've known Mark for possibly oh my god, it's 18 years. I worked with him when I was about 17 for probably 5 or 6 years, and then we kind of lost contact. Came back into contact when he'd become a personal trainer, and I had got really fat. Trained with him for a little bit, and then kind of had my own transformation, which led me and Mark having a conversation about possibly becoming a trainer. That conversation didn't go on very long. The next thing I knew, I was training.
The only female 30 Plus coach. What an only female. Exactly. What an only female. On Facebook Live, guys.
Shawnee here gave me a call up and he said, listen mate, I've just started this thing, and there's this guy called Mark, and he's, you love him, you just need to talk to him, you need to talk to him for like 2 minutes, that's all.
Change your life.
He'll change your life, honestly, just 2 minutes conversation, just give him a call, and he'd been bugging me for weeks to do it, and I was like, I hit like a bit of a lull one day. I was just like, oh, no, you know what, Sean's been on at me, I'll ring this guy, and he couldn't have been more right. It was within about, I don't know, within about 3 words of a conversation with Mark, I was like, oh no, Sean's right, there's something about this guy. A week later I was in boot camp, and maybe 4 weeks later I'd already lost about 10 pounds. It was unbelievable.
The thing that drives me to work with the guys really is seeing the results that they get. All the boys really supportive of each other. To see them 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, a year down the line, and just smashing workouts, and just completely changing their take on health and fitness.
And I was hooked. I was absolutely addicted. And yeah, competition had got me, banter had got me. I was just hooked. And what can I say? You know, by November I'd lost 4.5 stone, and I didn't believe it. My wife couldn't believe it. No one could believe it. My wife hated me because I'd lost so much weight so quickly.
They're busy, normal people. They're normal people who've lived normal lives, who, you know, eat in a certain way, don't move enough, and they've kind of got to an age where maybe they've got kids or they've got jobs that are stressing them out, and they're saying something needs to change. So for them to come in is a big step, but they're always welcomed with open arms and a big smile.
And then I found other interests in the group, things like cooking food, eating clean. It was basically, it's not just about working out is what I found. It was like you found a group of guys who, even though they all have completely different interests, they've all got completely different priorities, they're just looking for the same thing, which is to feel a bit better about themselves, to know that no matter how bad they feel, there's someone there that also feels the same way, that wants to feel the same way, that wants to get out of the whatever situation that they're in. And that's what this offers you. It's not just about getting up at 6 in the morning to get fit.
The banter with the guys, luckily I give as good as I get. I grew up with 2 older brothers. I've worked with Mark for a really long time, so I'm very well aware of what the guys can be like. So, you know, they try with me, but they normally get put in their place, either by a workout or a one-liner. They're good though.
It's just about having...
It's an escape, isn't it?
Yeah.
An escape out of what you could be everyday
yeah,
life,
exactly.
and just to get together and have a bit of banter and fun.
Exactly, and sometimes all you've got to say is, oh, I feel like shit today, boys. And then literally you've got someone saying, oh, you know, come on.
Let's get on with it. And
if you do a mile, I'll do a mile. That was what got me actually. In the first week, a guy got online and he was like, oh, I feel rubbish today, boys. I don't feel like it. It's raining. And some guy just books up, one of the Scottish guys, I think it was, and just goes, I'll tell you what, if you go out, you do a mile, I'll do a mile. You know, and next thing you know, I'm assuming that's how he sounded anyway, right?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, and then so suddenly you've got this, and then you've got a Londoner coming in going, all right, you do a mile, I'll do a mile, all right. And then so next thing you know, there's like 30 guys out doing a mile in the rain, and I'm going, do you know what? I might go out and do a mile, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm going to do a mile. And yes, it's great. You've got people doing videos as well. I'm doing a mile right now. Are you doing a mile? You know, it was absolute, yeah, with a kilt. Yeah. So, yeah, it's absolutely great.
I love it. I love it. I did actually lose myself as well, didn't I? Lost my way completely. I see this online on Facebook, 30 plus boot camp. I give it a 7-day free trial, give this a go. And I've never looked back ever since.
Yeah.
You know?
I've never really been fit at all. And this time last year I was weighing 18 stone. Over 7 months I lost 7 stone.
You're half the man, look.
Literally half the man.
Half the man I used to be.
So yeah, I do kind of like enjoy walking in and seeing their faces as the workout goes on the board, and they kind of go, she's on one again. But yeah, they just work hard. They do as they're told most of the time. Apparently more so for me than they do for Mark. So.
Yeah. So before I found 30 plus, didn't really realise that that's what I was suffering from, but I was suffering from undiagnosed depression, and I'd got myself into a hole, and that's obviously something that doesn't go away. It's not something that you suddenly find something and you feel better. But that's what I was talking about earlier on when I was saying about it's not just about getting fit. This is about a group of people who have always got your back, and no matter how low you feel, there's always someone there who can help you. And literally turning up to a session, someone giving you a little kick at the backside saying, mate, get off your ass, get to training today. Literally within 3 minutes of arriving through the door, you're a different person. Your world's changed. Because you're on the same wavelength as them. They understand where you're coming from. They know the struggles that you've got, and they understand also how what you're doing can help you, and how, you know, by changing your mindset, by changing your perspective on life. So there's like a mental thing to it as well, isn't it?
And as I walked through the door, it was like a family.
No one's going to judge you. You don't necessarily want to disclose something to someone maybe face to face. So you can then type it online in the group. You don't have to say anything to anyone. You can just type it, and immediately there's that response from the guys. Oh, well done for being honest. Well done for like standing up, and you get all that support. But you don't actually have to sit there like in a mother's meeting. And the members club basically gels all of the boot camps together, so it doesn't matter which part of the country you're from, you're all part of the same family. You've got, and the banter is hilarious. I mean, between some of the guys, is absolutely fantastic. But yeah, it's a group of people who might have completely different interests out there, but this is all something we've got in common, i.e. that we want to better ourselves, or we just want to feel better. That's basically, it might even be better ourselves, it's just we want to feel better. And by coming here, we're all on the same page, aren't we?
I met Mark when I was probably about 4 years into my personal training career. I didn't have boot camps at the time, I was just running a personal training business and growing it. I had a phone call one day, Mark contacted me, just moved to the area, and he wanted to get training. Okay, and actually we booked him in for a consultation, and I remember he was booked in for a Saturday lunchtime. I remember coaching, and in this gym I was based at the time, it was on a second floor, and I remember looking out the window and just seeing this big, sort of like, almost like oaf of a man, just sort of bumbling around the car park. He was obviously extremely nervous, he was just literally pacing up and down. And then when he came in, he looked full of anxiety and nerves and everything, but we did a session and we just hit it off. It was amazing, and then he became a great client of mine. He really got into his training. Now this was a guy, right, who was addicted to pizza, addicted to doner kebabs, like loved eating junk. And we got him into his training. And he became a great friend of mine. He was there for me at a lot of times. But it then sort of, it went beyond him being a client of mine. I used to run business ideas past him. He told me he blogged for a living, he did social media. I didn't understand any of this, YouTube, all this kind of thing. And then when I had the idea of 30 Plus Men's Fitness, I rang him, I was like, Mark, I've got this idea. And he's like, right, that's awesome, I'm gonna help you bring this to life. You need to do videos, buddy. And I was like, what, videos? He's like, trust me, we need to blog, you need a YouTube channel, you need a fan page, you need to do videos. And I was like, okay. He said, look, website, this is the way it's going now for the internet. Websites, you know, you got to do videos for your website. Okay, right, so I remember this first time we went to do an introduction for my 30 Plus Bootcamp Cardiff website, and I must have done about 35 takes.
Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you're doing.
I mean, I just couldn't get it out. I was hyperventilating. I was just messing up all my words. And he was so patient, and we got it. We got the money shot. We were there all afternoon and got it. And he helped me bring 30 Plus Bootcamp Cardiff to life. And basically, he would say to me, listen, Tregs, like, you can take this, you know, wherever you want. This could be huge, beyond Cardiff. He said, what I need from you is I want you to create these workouts for busy over 30s men, like you're doing in your Cardiff bootcamp, but stuff that you can put online for guys that don't come to the Cardiff bootcamp, for them to follow. And I was like, right, okay. And every weekend we'd hook up, and he'd have his flip cam and he'd be filming me doing all these workouts. He worked with Steve, so this is where Steve got involved with bootcamp. It was through Mark, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah. So Mark and I worked at this tiny little internet company. He really wanted to go to boot camp. He'd been training with Mark, and he was like, oh, I really want to try the boot camp. I'm scared of training in front of all these other guys. Come with me, Rob. Come with me. And Mark Ramsgill said to me, why don't you try one of his videos? Oh, go on, all right then. So I did the bodyweight basics, and I thought, wow, this bodyweight stuff is a game changer. So I thought I'd give it a go. Went to boot camp, and I think that was about 5 years ago.
It was, yeah.
So one of the earliest people.
Yeah. So I remember the first ever boot camp I did. Mark was with me, and what we did, this big introduction at the gym. We only actually had, I think the first ever Cardiff boot camp we did was 7 or 8 people turn up. But Mark sat there and he filmed the whole thing, and he basically filmed and documented everything. I actually ended up living in the same apartment blocks as Mark. He would like text me, curry, and I'd be like, I'm meant to be a trainer. Yeah, come on then, let's go for a curry. And then like I text him, what are you up to? Pizza? Yeah, come on, let's go. And we would just hook up, and we'd just go for beers, and we'd go for this lovely little bar in the bay, and we'd just sit there, and we're both single at the time, we'd just toast the single life, having a beer. He'd give me a bit of a strategy. He was like, Tregs, listen, you know, you can take this 30 plus thing all the way. He said, I can see you, you'd be flying out to America. The story turn was when basically he told me he was going to move away from Cardiff. That was a bit of a shock to us all, because he had come to the boot camp a few times, he had a great bunch of mates, and he said to me, he said, you know, Tregs, I've got this sort of long-term on and off girlfriend in York, I'm thinking of moving there. He said, I'm still going to do all your website stuff, don't worry about it, he said, but I'm moving away. Now at the time, I had just met my partner, Sarah, and she was really having really fast. She was pregnant with our first child, and I was about to move out of the apartment, and me and Sarah were getting a place together. And Mark, it was weird. It was like I was kind of preoccupied with obviously becoming a dad for the first time, and Mark sort of said, "Look, you know, I'm moving away. I'm still going to do everything for you." And then he moved away to York, and we were all gutted, weren't we?
We were gutted because he had the company we worked at was a tiny little run business, and it was a real little family, and there was the boot camp family, and I think he had a lot of anchors in Cardiff, and when he went away to York, he kind of pulled up all those anchors. And I think when someone has a predilection or is prone to any kind of mental health issues, those anchors in your life are really, really important to keep you grounded, and if you lose them, well,
I think as well is, I know Mark suffered with depression and anxiety because I actually suffered from that really badly in my late 20s before I set up 30 Plus. I know he was taking meds because we were actually on the same antidepressants at the time, and I'm quite open about this, and we used to, if one ran out, say, "Oh, have you got any, can I have 20 milligrams of your meds just to keep me sane?" And I knew he suffered, and I knew he had bad anxiety, but I didn't know he was in that darker place. He kind of never really opened up to me. But he moved away to York. We had a leaving party for him, which he didn't actually come to, and it just started to set off a few alarm bells in my head. So at the time, Mark and I had decided that I was going to do a huge investment into my business because we wanted to take this. We had started to get an online following, but we didn't really know where it was going. And there was an opportunity come up to go on a course with Dax Moy, who you'll know very well, Mark, to go to Thailand to create your first online fitness product. 10 days away from everything and just focused on it. Now, when you're running a busy business and boot camps, it is very hard to focus on creating content. So Mark and I said, yeah, let's do it. Right, Tregs, it's a big investment, but go over to Thailand and create. I flew over to Thailand, and on the first night when I was jet lagged, I was there with fitness professionals I'd never met. I've seen Steve had been calling me like a number of times, and I thought, this is really odd. Like, Steve, why is he calling me? Like, we exchanged texts, but why is he ringing me 3 times? And Steve kept texting me going, "Tregs, have you seen my call?" And I was like, "Yeah, Steve, I'm in Thailand, it's cool. Don't worry if your fees are late or whatever." I knew he never paid his fees late, he always pays early. And I was like, "What's going on?" And he's like, "I need to tell you something, mate. It's about Mark." And he just said, he's dead, mate. And I was like, what? And I was just completely blown away, completely baffled, started to cry. And he's like, yeah, he was hit by a train, and it was just complete shock, Mark. I mean, I was just in bits. I went and told everyone. They were very sympathetic towards me, but it was awful because I was away from my pregnant partner. I'd invested thousands in doing this project that me and Mark had dreamt up. And here I was in Thailand, thousands of miles away from home, people I didn't know, jet lagged, my pregnant partner at home, and my best friend, who we had this vision together, had died. Yeah, it was Steve that unfortunately, broke the news to me. And he took his own life. And I was faced with a choice. I was in complete bits, and I was thinking, do I come home? People were saying, Tregs, come home. And I thought to myself, what am I going to do? So I sort of went to ground for about 48 hours, didn't do anything, and then I caught up on sleep, started to see things clear. I thought, no, what would Mark want me to do? What would he want me to do? He'd want me to stay and create this. So I dusted myself down and got in front of the camera and created 16 bodyweight workout videos, which we eventually brought to life in an online program, which we still use today for guys coming into our programs at couch potato kind of level. And I came home, there was a funeral for him that Steve and I both went to, and it was really hard. It turns out that he cried for help a number of, well, I think twice that week. I'll let Steve take this up. Yeah.
So it turns out he had kind of, like Mark said, made that cry for help, and he actually got on a train and gone down to the south coast where he grew up and was ready to chuck himself off Beachy Head. But you know, his girlfriend said, "Come on, Mark, don't be silly. Come home, come home, come home." And you know, unfortunately, the people around him up in York didn't recognise, you know, how serious it was and how bad he felt, and kind of left him alone the next day. And I think whatever the dark forces are that take over people's minds when they're ready to make that terrible decision, you know, those forces were too strong for Mark to resist. And you know, unfortunately, he lived next door to a high-speed rail line, and the opportunities were there for him, and sadly he took them.
Yeah. And it was just, I remember the lads I was still in Thailand, but the lads did an amazing tribute for him at boot camp, and there was loads of pictures, and they had a minute silence, and it was incredible. But you'll hear more of the story as we progress over these next 9 days, Mark. But what I've tried to do is keep Mark's spirit alive. Keep his spirit alive in the phrase that I always sign off with, keep trucking, which I'll tell you about. And we try and do memorial. We haven't done one in the last year, but we've tried to do memorial days, but we always talk about him. He's in the front of all our manuals, our coaches know about him, and that's the story. Unfortunately, we didn't have a big online community then, because Mark and I were trying to bring that to life. And I just wonder that if now, with 6,000 guys in our online community, he would have put a cry for help, he would have been helped. And so that's one of the reasons I almost quit on the idea. I almost quit numerous times and thought, I've lost my best friend. You know, I went into a deep depression, and my missus was pregnant with our first son, John, and I was ready to bin it. And that's one of the reasons I want to do it, because I think that, you know, depression, suicide rates, anxiety in over 30s men is just absolutely huge. And what we do with 30 plus men's fitness goes way beyond that. Yes, it's fitness, as Dax Moy told me, a squat is a squat, a push-up is a push-up, but it's the way, it's the environment in which you coach it, in which you teach it. And that's what we're trying to do, is help guys, you know, with these demons, overcome that through our community.
It creates another anchor for blokes who find it hard to talk about these things. You know, for men, especially men of a certain age, it's seen as a sign of weakness, which, you know, it's not. And I think what Mark has set up really gives people those anchors and gives them a place where they can kind of talk freely and realise, oh, I'm not alone. There's loads of other blokes in the same position as me, and they're all out there to help. Well done, mate.
That's it. Yeah, brilliant. Awesome, mate.
Cheers, buddy.
Brilliant. No, thank you, Steve. That's brilliant. All right, Mark, so I'm just here to see my coach and mentor, Renzo. We're at it's not his gym, but it's a gym where we train at. A lot of people probably don't know that, but I've been training with him for the last 3 months. And the reason is simple. Yes, I know what to do. Yes, I help thousands of guys online, but when I knew I was going to do this tour, what I wanted is I didn't want to get consumed with everything and neglect my own training. So I made a commitment with Renzo. I see him 5-6 days a week. It takes me away from the norm of my life, which is complete chaos. Kids, business, phone ringing off the hook. I leave my phone in the car. I go in, I train with him, like I said, for an hour. I have my food, I shower, I drive back. It's 2 hours out of the day for myself, doing something I love. We should all do something for ourselves. I happen to love fitness, but if I started to train in my gym, get sidetracked, start talking to the other trainers in there. If I join in with my clients, I'll only do the bits that, you know, I really want to do. When I come to see Renzo, it makes me do the stuff I don't want to do. If I'm tired, which is, you know, it happens a lot when you got young kids, I wouldn't train, but I've got a commitment with Renzo, so I've trained on like no sleep. And it's having that commitment which I absolutely love. I think you should be held accountable in all departments of your life. I've got business coaches, I've got mentors, so why not have somebody? He's 20 years older than me. He's an ex-bodybuilding pro. He's a great guy. I really look up to him. So why not have him take care of my training, and I just turn up? It's great. Let's go. Okay?
Yeah, good.
Right,
Good.
we're ready for this?
We're ready.
Renzo, what do you think of what Mark's doing with 30 plus?
Well, do you know, I think that's an incredible service for these guys, especially with the kind of lifestyles that they live. And I think he's found a niche. I think these guys really need it. And you know, with today's climate and health issues that are always promoted on the news, I think Mark's provided the perfect solution for it. And I think he's doing really great. Yeah.
The thing is like I said, because I knew Renzo, got a lot of respect for him. When I called him, he was like, "What do you need me for, Trace?" I was like, "Listen, my life's chaos. Business is crazy. I want to come to you and just let you handle it. I want to make a commitment, because I always think, like, if you make yourself a commitment, you put some money in the game, right? You're accountable."
I listened to him, but I really put him through it as well.
He does, yeah.
Because
yeah.
that's what I'm here for. You know, that's my business. You know, training people hard, getting them into shape. You know, helping them reach their goals. So.
And what better guy? I mean, Renzo's a ex-bodybuilding champion, and he's got 20 years on me. So let's learn from the best. You know, I think everyone should have a mentor in life. Everyone should keep learning all the time, and I've been learning loads from him. You know, it's been amazing.
Before I met Mark, many years ago, I was a rugby player in the days of drinking too much and everything. And I just, as I got older, stopped training, ended up 27.5 stone.
I was killing myself. I was drinking too much. I was eating too much. I didn't care. I was like, I can't do anything about this. I've tried dieting, it didn't work. I just wanted something to change, but I didn't know how. And you know, in the end, it was one of those moments that just hit me smack in the face when I saw a video of myself.
2 years ago, I did the Ice Bucket Challenge in Mallorca at the beach bar. Great friends of mine, and I got nominated for the Ice Bucket Challenge right at the start. And he stood behind me with his bucket of ice water and threw it over me. I looked at the video afterwards, and I thought, Christ, if you don't do something, you're going to die. I looked hideous. I was like a barrel on legs. I was just struggling completely to actually do anything apart from eat and drink. And every time I went swimming, I thought the Russian whaling fleet were going to come round the corner. I went from being not doing any exercise to suddenly discovering that, hang on a minute, you used to play rugby, you used to be fit. Let's get back to that. And it's been a journey since that point 2 years ago. You know, I've done a triathlon since that. My first ever triathlon, and I was over the moon. And that's how great I feel now. And I feel so much more confident in myself. And as a consequence of doing this, the whole family have stuck into it now. And even my wife, although she doesn't train with Mark's protocols, she followed the same diet and she's lost 3.5 stone. So she's doing fantastically well on it as well. This is where I am at the moment. Is I'm halfway through a journey. I've gone and lost 4 stone, so which I'm happy with, but I've got another 3 stone to go. There's a long way to go yet, and I'm really excited by when I can get under 20 stone for the first time since I was in my early 20s, and I'm now 55. The support is great from the group. The actual group itself, the video, the Facebook pages, the guys actually in the group, you know, the members club, everything. And when you meet the other guys, everyone has got your back. Everyone looks after you. The support from everyone, not just Mark and the other coaches, but everyone in the group looks after each other. The camaraderie is absolutely fantastic. If I, carried on doing this, something was going to give, and it just couldn't last any longer. Something had to go, and hopefully it wasn't going to be me. My wife was really worried about me because of my lifestyle, what I was eating and drinking, And I was probably the only one who, you know, was sort of saying, yeah, I'll do something about it, yeah, I'll do something about it. You're in that situation where you make the decision, yeah, I'll do something about it, but you do nothing about it. And we've all been there. We all make those decisions. Just get on the journey. Once you're on it and you stand on the scales and go, there's a stone gone, you're like, whoa, come on, I can do this. And that's where you've got to get. You've got to get to the place where you start to see the benefits yourself, because unless you actually start, you're never going to get anywhere. And just believe in the plan, because it works.
And you know, it's like Stuart said, he was in one of my online programs before, so I knew the name, and it was great to meet him. And when I met him, it was clear that he loved life, he's a successful guy. But I remember one thing that he said to me was really poignant. He said, Tregs, it's pointless being successful and, you know, having all this if I'm gonna die. And he looked into my eyes and said that, and I knew then that, you know, we could really help him and change this guy's life. And it's been a testament to, you know, Stuart's worked tremendously hard. And, you know, he won't mind me saying his age because he said it a few times already, but Stuart's 55. And I think when guys see 30 plus, they go, oh, what about 40 plus? What about 50 plus? Listen, if you're over 30, you can join you in the gang, all right? Stu's 55 and he's done it. So it's testament to what we do. And no, he's a really sort of walking, talking advert of what we've done. And, you know, I was so proud of him when he went and did the triathlon. I mean, this was a guy on his first session who struggled to hold a plank for longer than 15 seconds, you know, was squatting to a high bench because he couldn't get the full range of motion. We would literally just walk around the block and talking, but we got started. And, you know, a year later he's doing a triathlon. That just blows my mind. That just makes me so proud, you know. The thing is about, like myself, who set up 30 plus Men's Fitness, you know, I'm just a normal guy, you know, 37 years old, 2 young kids at home, day-to-day pressures, and it's the same as every one of our coaches. You know, you'll meet all the coaches in the various locations. They're all in the trenches, and same with all of our clients, and that's what we're trying to say. Like, you know, you guys, you're all going through the same day-to-day struggles. You're not alone. And that's what 30 Plus Men's Fitness wants to do, wants to give you a community whereby everyone is, you know, up against these different challenges day in, day out. I mean, like, people must look at my business from the outside and think, oh, it must be easy. It's like, it's a struggle, you know, 2 young kids, 3 and 2, you know, pretty much sleep deprived for the last 3.5 years, building a business, like, that takes its toll. And yeah, I do love what I do, and I love what I've created, and I'm very driven to get that message out, but it's hard work. And I think that's what makes people kind of resonate with myself and also 30 Plus Men's Fitness, is that we're not trying to put ourselves on a pedestal. We're just normal guys helping normal guys in their 30s. Sarah's always been like really understanding about when I go away to seminars and things like that. When we met, funny actually, because we met on a dating site, Match.com, and we were both, well, she's 5 years older than me, so she was 37, I was 32, and in her profile it actually said, I'm looking to meet somebody who's, you know, quite motivated and likes doing stuff and just doesn't want to sit in front of telly every night. So when I met her and like told her about my own business, I was explaining to her sort of what my long-term vision was, and fair play, she's been very, very supportive. But you know, it does mean that over the last 4 to 5 years I've had to travel a lot since we've been together. And in fact, when I met her, I said to her, oh, you know, great, we've met and everything like that, but just to let you know, I've got a stag do to Amsterdam, I've got a birthday in Ibiza, and I'm also going to Thailand for 10 days to create this online fitness product. I had all these things, but no, she was really understanding. But it's really hard, obviously. You know what it's like, Mark, you're a dad. It's you look forward to going away for the break, for the night's sleep, but then when you're away, you just can't stop looking at their pictures and their videos and wanting to FaceTime them, you know. And there's been times where I've sort of seen a seminar come up, and I'm very impulsive. I'll see a seminar, I think I've got to go to that, I have to go to it, and it'll say like San Diego, and I say, Sarah, we need to talk. She's right, go on, what have you done? I'm like, there's this seminar, and she'll look at me and go, where is it? And I go, San Diego. She's like, all right, what date? Let me ring my parents, see if they can come and help out. Go on, book it. And you know, fair play to her. I've made massive investments in my business over the years. She doesn't know the intricate details, but she just lets me get on with it. She knows I've got this vision, and she knows what I'm like. She knows I can't relax the only time I relax, I suppose, is when I'm asleep, because I'm either working or I'm playing with the boys. It's pretty much not a lot in between that, which I really do need to work on, to be honest with you. But no, she's extremely supportive of it.
How do you strike the balance between
great
running a
difficulty, buddy? And I actually had some help with this last year with a business coach and somebody else who was helping me with a few things. I always try and make sure my laptop time is done away from the house. So I'll get up, I'll coach, and I go, right, I've got 4 hours here for the online stuff, and then when I go home, the laptop is closed. Sarah will probably disagree and say, oh, you're always tinkering, but before the kids were up on their feet and they were just sort of lying around doing nothing, it's very easy to get the laptop out and do work. But now they want to play, they're jumping on daddy, so I always try and make sure that laptop's off. I'm an extremely hands-on dad. You know, I go to work, I come home, I'm with my family. I actually look forward to coming home to the family, and I don't really need much more in my life, if that makes sense. It's I think it's just coming up to 1 o'clock. Feels like we've been filming an entire day already. We're just on the way now to Bristol Airport, and we're going to be flying to Glasgow. We're going to be greeted in Glasgow tonight and taken to the hotel where we're going to meet a few of the lads who come to boot camp, and the coach. Obviously we're going to have a bit of food, and then we're just going to turn it in, because I am knackered and I want to be fresh for tomorrow. So yeah, really looking forward to it. We are here at Glasgow Airport, and it's raining. It's like, I went in the spare room last night because I was just like, right, gotta have a little bit of sleep. But it was just what, you know, you didn't sleep too well because you're so excited. Yeah. I was like, I left the house at 4:45 this morning to pick up Mark, and well, we haven't stopped. It was funny because it kind of 30 plus Glasgow kind of come out of a kind of, it was almost like by accident really. Yeah. We had an online community, and I think Liam had said to one of the other Scottish lads, yeah, I'll lend you my kettlebells, or I'll give you a kettlebell lesson. Yeah. And it turns out that they only live 20 minutes apart, and then word sort of spread in the group. So, oh, where are you from, where are you from? Turns out we had quite a lot of guys all within the sort of local area in Glasgow. And it was just sort of born out of that, 4 or 5 lads meeting up. And then me and Russ put the systems in place, asked Liam, do you want to get qualified? And it's kind of gone, it's gone from there. It just seems to have gone so fast. Okay guys, so it's Dregs here. Mark's just handed me the camera, so he's just asked me to talk into it. Excuse these bags, it's been a crazy long day, but we're in Glasgow now, and we're on the way with our tour guide and coach Liam from 30 Plus Glasgow, the Titans. We're on the way to the Jury's Hotel in Glasgow, and it's raining. Every time I've been to Glasgow it rains, but yeah, I'm really excited. We're gonna go to the hotel. We've got a lad in the back, Mark Riley, who's got an amazing story. He's lost over 3 stones since finding us. Hey! And we got, yeah, we're going to meet so many guys that have done the fat loss programs, done the muscle building programs. They've all got sensational results. So I'm really excited to meet them. I don't know if I'm going to understand everything they're saying, but I'm sure. Do you do subtitles, Marky boy?
Yeah, we can do subtitles.
Yeah, so really looking forward to seeing everyone, and yeah, just enjoying the whole experience. This is Mark, who's next to you. He joined 30 Plus Glasgow in July. He's lost 3 stone.
Yeah, from opening night onwards.
Oh, from the opening night, him and Liam there. This is Paul Abson. He won one of our 6-week transformation home programs and working out with Liam as well. He dropped like 32 pounds in 6 weeks. There's like an incredible before and after. Look at the changes. And look at this, this is really impressive. We've just done a, you know, I told you about the 10-week muscle up plan we do, Mark. This is Ewan. He just came through it. It's a gym-based 10-week program I wrote, and sort of like my 10 years experience. And he actually popped up in the group. He was a little bit concerned. He was putting on some body fat. He wasn't concerned the scales were going up, because obviously he was adding some lean tin, but then he unleashed these before and after pics. So it speaks for it. So I've not met this guy, he's just did one of our programs. So we're here at the Jurors Inn in Glasgow. It's been a really long day, but thoroughly enjoyable, guys. We've just checked our bags into the room, and now we're going to go and get a little bit of food with some of the clients up here. Many of them I've not even met yet. Let's go. Day 2, guys. We're running. Ooh. Morning, guys. Coach Treggs here. I've had a solid 8.5 hours sleep in a Glasgow hotel. Unbelievable. You know what it's like for you guys who've got kids. I was running on nervous energy all week and kids. And yeah, I've had an 8.5 hours sleep and I've had a really strong coffee. Let's go and get 30 plus Glasgow.
Great for my really small calves. And of course, Scotland!
Alright, so guys, I'm here at Mount Vernon Community Hall, just about to start off with 30 plus boot camp Glasgow. We've got an amazing bunch of lads. I've met about 50% of them before because I've been up here on my travels. There's a whole new bunch of guys, all in 30 plus gear, which blows my mind. It just blows my mind. Anyway, Liam has asked me to get up on the stage, and he's given me this kind of like war cry, which I have to shout out. Now, you know me, I'm game for anything. Almost a little bit embarrassed and overwhelmed at this kind of what it's going to be like. So catch me up on stage in a minute. Apparently I'm going to do a big war cry, and they may even charge the stage. I'm not sure what's going to happen.
So we're going to welcome Mark Gilgas to Titan HQ. How you doing, Mark?
We call hell our playground!
Take pride in being part of the 30 plus brotherhood. Take pride and say it. Lee, shout it with me. We are Titans.
I'm Derek Agnew. I'm at Men's 30 Plus Glasgow Boot Camp. I've been with Mark for almost 4 years. In August it'll be.
I just kind of love the banter and love the kind of motivation stuff when you go to boot camp and online, the troops, you know.
I was 15 stone 2, so at the time I've now plateaued over around about the 12 stone mark, so that's just over 3 stone I've lost.
Good laugh, there's no prima donnas in the place. I think the biggest thing for me was the nutrition as well. It totally changed how I thought about food.
Yep.
I mainly started because my 2 young children, especially my daughter, decided to slap me in the belly in the kitchen one day and said, "Daddy, you've got a big fat wobbly belly." And I thought to myself, this is time to do something about it now.
First plan, the results were awesome. Second plan, doubled up. And then from there, you just kind of spread the word. And everybody else can see how good it is. And
this is now my 89th session. So it is 89th session, so I'm absolutely loving it.
First plan I lost 11 pounds, and then the second plan I lost 10. Best part of it, just under 2 stone nearly over sort of 3 week plans.
I'll be up to my wedding, I got down to 15 stone. I'd never been that in over 10 years.
At my high 16.8 or 16 stone 8, down to 14.
We've built a proper brotherhood up here. It's been fantastic. We help each other, we support each other.
And 24 hours a day, somebody will give you a response and a bit of support. Yeah, there is also the banter, and some of the stuff couldn't be shared out with the group, to be honest, but that's all part of it as well.
I feel as if I'm addicted to it now, and I would have never have seen myself doing that if I wasn't keep myself fit, which is all thanks to for the 30 plus, you know.
I think because it's 24/7 and there is folk worldwide, you know, Australia, Canada. If somebody has got a question, it always does get answered. That's certainly my experience anyway, you know. No, I mean, there's guys who went through kind of rough times in the group, and they're always the guys who just come on side and, you know, lift them back up again. And that's what it is, it's a brotherhood, it's a support network.
Keep on trucking and sticking together. Recommend it to anybody, give it a go.
100%.
And that was 30 plus Glasgow. What can I say? Amazing, amazing. Alright guys, so it's Tregs here. It's day 3 of the tour. We're in Glasgow. We've got to spend half a day here and then flying back to Bristol tonight, ready to go to Essex tomorrow. It's been incredible. I'm completely overwhelmed. There's over 20 lads at the boot camp yesterday, all wearing 30 plus gear. Welcome me with open arms. It blows my mind, to be honest. We put them through one of my signature workouts that I created 6 years ago called the Treble 8. To see 20 lads slinging kettlebells around, doing a workout that I created is just amazing. And to actually spend time with these guys and see how 30 plus has impacted their lives just reinforces why I'm doing this whole thing. So many guys have said to me, Tregs, I've got the energy to take my daughter to the park. I'm not a moody bastard when I wake up. You know, the wife likes me again. I'm a nice person to be around, and I just feel great. And as well, I've got all these new friends. That is exactly what I set out to do when I set up 30 Plus Men's Fitness, and to see it happening in all corners of the country right now, it's just incredible. It's just amazing. So it's just an amazing journey that Paul has had up here in Scotland. He's been with us probably just under a year. He won one of our home transformation programs whereby you just get to work out at home using body weight, using a kettlebell. His result just blew everyone away, blew me away, and he won the £200 prize money. But you know, his real win was actually turning his life around, getting a crazy amount of energy, being able to take his daughter to the park, being able to run around at boot camp with the lads, do 5Ks before and after, and for me that's the biggest buzz, you know, to travel the country and meet guys like Paul, normal over 30s guys with families that have completely changed their lives using our protocols. That's exactly why I'm doing this.
Tell me your 30 plus story.
Well, drinking, binge drinking probably, that's belly swelling out, takeaways, stuff like that. No energy, didn't want to do anything, that's promising the kids do stuff with them, that's letting them down all the time, that's hungover. That was probably the worst thing, that's promising you would do stuff, take the little one to the park, and then get up on the Saturday, Dad would go into the park, feeling rough, so end up saying, oh we'll do it tomorrow, and then you end up back on the beer that night, and then the next day it was the same again, so I didn't even recognise who I was back then when I seen the picture. Totally different. It's more confidence, more energy. Physically fit, but mentally it makes a difference as well. It's like day-to-day life. Mentally everything's a lot clearer. Mentally, it just does make a big difference. It's a lot clearer thinking with everything.
We just had a kid. I was a 1-year-old child by the time I started with Mark. So the usual tiredness, lethargic, lack of energy. So a lot of life was spent living on energy drinks and eating the wrong types of food basically. My dad sent a picture up. There's this 63-year-old man with a six-pack and looking fantastic. The big problem for me was the nutrition side. I was trying to out-train a bad diet and doing what most people do. They think if you eat well Monday to Friday and train hard that you can go and live the life you want at the weekend. So I was doing that as most people do, and it wasn't working at all. The weight had piled on over the years, and I'd got up close to 18 stone. Didn't want to be there, so decided to bite the bullet and start the 21-day plan with Mark. Found myself getting very kind of ratty and crab it quite a lot. Mentally wasn't necessarily in the best of places, arguing over silly things with the wife. We've never had arguments before. Life in general wasn't good at all. I realised I had to make a change. I didn't want to be like that. I didn't want to be the fat dad and the guy that was struggling to get about with the kids in the house, and I wanted to get back to living an active lifestyle and losing the weight. So Mark stripped this right back. Made it very, very simple for what we were doing, and the 10-week results have been fantastic. So basically the 2 weight loss plans that I did initially, I lost 2 stone. It's cheered me up, definitely. There's 3 places that you go to in life. One of them's your home, second's work, which is inevitable, and third for me is the gym. Absolutely love the gym. It makes a massive difference to my mental state and keeps me happy and sane. And obviously seeing the results, it makes a massive difference. Doing the 30 plus plan is taking me to the next level. I think it's made me a better parent, definitely made me a better husband, and yeah, I'm certainly more family orientated now than I ever have been, so it's been fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
Probably fairly unhealthy and didn't really have much confidence. Felt kind of lazy, pretty useless, overweight, etc. Didn't have as much energy, and yeah, just not really very confident. I felt as if I was kind of, I wouldn't say spiralling out of control weight wise, but I was constantly gaining weight. There wasn't really much that I could do about it. I was eating the wrong things, lost quite a lot of weight. I'd never done anything like that before. I've basically gained friends for life. The guys that I've met in there are the same as me, with the same kind of problems. The guys that are in the groups and the guys that I've met at the boot camp are gold. They're proper good guys.
It blows my mind, and just to think, like, to come to Glasgow, you know, mate, you know I can't thank you enough for everything you've done. To come to Glasgow,
goes both ways,
and see like the community you've built. Like, mate, I'm truly grateful to you, because that was my vision, you know. And to see just the brotherhood, the camaraderie, like it's everything that I could have dreamt it, how I wanted it to be. From the guys turning up and having banter, the jokes, the having a beer in a pub, the training hard, using the methods that I created.
Exactly,
Just everything. It's so universal, mate, and that's all we've got to do is just keep getting this message out, because there are a million guys out there that we can help, you know? And it's not rocket science, we've just got to reach them, and we've just got to keep doing what we're doing here in Glasgow. Okay guys, so we're almost done in Glasgow, just about to leave, and it's been incredible. Got to meet so many guys. I knew there were some big transformations up here, but it's the impact on people's lives which has kind of affected me the most. You know, I know our programs work, I know guys lose weight and they feel better, but to actually see the transformation that it's had on their families' lives as well as their kids, you know, being able to do so much more. It's not just about the 30 plus men, it's about their families as well. It's completely overwhelming, the effect that 30 plus men's fitness has had in Glasgow. I'm super grateful. And that's Glasgow done, guys. It's been absolutely epic, and now we're about to jump on a plane.
Take two.
Okay. Alright guys, Glasgow has been absolutely epic, and now we're about to jump on a plane and head back to Bristol for the evening. Guys, just to let you know, well, we were just on our way back to the hotel, but I had a call from my agent. Apparently, Celtic Football Club, they've heard that I'm in town, and even though I'm 37 and I'm retired, they're calling me out of retirement. They're offering me a big money deal, and I'm here to sign for Celtic. Let's go. Yeah, anyway guys, just went in there and said I was there to see the directors, and they hadn't heard of me, so yeah. Sorry lads, I'm not signing for Celtic. Come on then, let's go. Morning Marky, you okay? Good stuff mate. So listen, we're just about to leave Bristol with a little overnight stay here last night. We are off to 30 plus boot camp in Essex today, but not before we stop by in Slough to pick up Anthony, Coach Anthony Lee, who is a massive part of the business, and then also we're going on to Coach Russ's office where he's helping me expand the boot camps, and we're going to hear all about their story. They are massively integral to 30 plus boot camp, 30 plus men's fitness and our vision, and they started off as clients of mine and are now heavily involved in what we do. Cheers guys, let's go. private conversation with you, you can see that I get it. I understand that you've got your demons and what you're going through. Listen, I face my own battles every day. I've been really, really brutally honest about that, and so have all my coaches. I understand that you're feeling guilty right now because you don't have the energy to run around with the kids. I understand that, you know, you want your wife to look at you again, and like she did when she first met you, right? I understand that. I understand that it absolutely kills you when you can't even get up the stairs, when you can't even pick up one of your daughters or your sons because you get so out of breath. I understand what that's like, guys, but I'm going to give you an option here, guys, right? I've been there, thousands of my clients have been there, and so have my coaches, and we are here to help you. And I'm going to give you this option right now to join us and get more support than you can ever imagine inside our global community, guys. Like, I am here to help you guys, all right? But you have got to make the decision, guys. You've got to make the decision. Like, what is it going to take? Like, what is it going to take? Like, do you want to have a heart attack? Do you want to have a stroke? Like, what's it going to take for you? Do you need to end up in fucking hospital before you decide that you are going to change your life? Think about it, guys. A man never, ever, ever appreciates his health until it's gone. And I want you to come and join us, guys. I don't want your health to go, guys. Come and join us. I understand you and I know what you're going through. I'm not saying I can fix it straight away, but with my support network from both myself and my team of coaches and over 6,000 over 30s guys inside our global community, we're going to try and help you figure it out. We're going to try and help you regain some clarity. Actually wake up in the morning and feel good. Do you know what that feels like right now? You've probably forgotten what it feels like, right? Every morning you're waking up in a brain fog. You're needing like 10 coffees to get going. You're walking around in brain fog. You've got absolutely no clarity. I know what it's like. I've been there. But I can show you how to get this. Myself and my team of coaches are waiting to help you. Listen, guys, I want to help you. I want to give you back some energy. I want you to be that dad that can run around with his kids again and feel awesome. So what are you waiting for, guys? Click the link above and let's get you inside our free community now. And let's start turning things around for you.
Well, I found 30 Plus and Mark in particular online about 3 years ago. And I was intrigued because I was looking for something a little bit different, something that would work for me and would help me in my current situation. And my situation at the time was quite simple. I'd had a business, a very successful business. I put on a lot of weight during that success period. And I became very stressed because of it. I drank a lot, I ate a lot, and life was going in the wrong sort of direction. And I was looking for something different. I didn't want to go to the gyms, I wanted to get fit. And my reason was I had kids, I wanted to grow up with them and be fit and healthy with them. And I just was looking for something different. And I'd met a few people online who offered me certain things which never came to fruition in terms of health and fitness. And so I found Mark and I started following Mark, and I didn't get involved straight away. I wanted to check him out first. Was he the right guy to help me? And after about 6 months of following him and seeing that he was genuine, he had the same struggles that I had, I just felt, this is the right thing for me, and let's get involved. The changes were almost immediate, and I could see actually how it was working. I could see that, this works, and the group of people we built around him and the community was outstanding. And it just took me forward leaps and bounds, the point in my life where things were going really slowly and going almost backwards, and I needed a change. Business had changed dramatically for me in terms of actually losing it. I had a successful business, and I thought, right, what do I do next? And I love the way I've been helped. I love the way Mark had just reached out to me personally from this guy who doesn't know me from Adam, and he'd reached out and wanted to help me and help others like me. I thought, well, you know what, this is something I can do for other people, and perhaps my future is in a business point of view. It's not what I've done in the past, but actually helping people like Mark does. If Mark can do it for me, why can't I do it for others? And that really took me to about 18 months ago, and that whole thought process took a long time. But the more I thought about it, the more real it became, and the more I realised that actually this is it. This is what I want to do. I want to help people, and how do I go about doing that? So I spoke to Mark personally. We'd met once, and we had a good chat, and he suggested I become a PT. because that's what I really was angling towards. So jump forward 6 months, I become a PT, and it was always only one goal. Whilst I wanted to qualify as a PT, what I really wanted to do was run boot camps for Mark and with Mark, and I wanted to get to guys locally and help them locally and give them the support that I'd received from Mark and other guys at 30 plus. So we got to about 18 months ago. I was a qualified PT and set up a boot camp in Essex. And it was just, I wanted to get guys, I wanted to reach guys, my guys, my local guys, not these guys who from other parts of the country online. It was local chaps with the same struggles who lived in my area. And it took off, it exploded. I found a great group of friends through it, my clients and my friends, and their transition, where they've come to, where they've got to, is what it's all about. Well, I think what definitely inspires me is to see the journey they've gone on. I actually don't like the word journey, it's so X factor, but it's that the fact that their lives are changing. It's not their weight, it's not how well they eat, it's their lives are changing. They're becoming better people in their minds, not in my mind, it's their view. There's guys that have come to me a year ago who are now becoming trainers themselves. There's guys that come to me a year ago who have lost a ridiculous amount of weight and are having better marriages, are having better family life. And it inspires me that actually think I'm helping them. And I'm helping them because someone helped me. And that means not only I help them, they help someone else. And there's this chain reaction that I want to see happening throughout the country that inspires me to keep going. And that's just now spawned a wonderful life for me and my family because of it. I'm a healthier, happier man. And now I get the chance to help other guys. But on the back of that, it became quite clear that we could do, between me and Mark, we have a very similar vision. Mark has his goal to reach 1 million people. My goal and my vision is to have many boot camps around the country so we can reach many people locally. I ideally want to have a boot camp so you're never 50 miles away from any boot camp wherever you are in the UK, because there's plenty of guys out there who need our help. They need our support, they need the community, and they need to get fitter and healthier. And that's really where we are today. We're a growing family, and a family that actually is going to reach out and help a lot of people.
My name's Anthony Lee. I first met Mark back in 2007. Got myself into a bit of a mess. I'd lost my job and I ended up getting this job in London working in a dialysis hospital. Stress was immense with that. I didn't like the job that I was doing. I'll be honest, I absolutely hated it. So most evenings I'd get some beers on the way home from Paddington. Weekends, don't really remember the weekends, and everything was just getting too much. So I was looking for a way out, and 78 paracetamol and a litre of vodka seemed a pretty good way at the time. Luckily that didn't work. It was actually Mark who got in touch with my dad at the time and let him know that he needed to get around there. Lowest point, waking up in hospital. Not a good place to be. When I was in that type of mindset, it was really difficult at the time because I got so used to destroying myself and almost getting to the end of the week and thinking, I've made it through the week, right, this Jack Daniels is my reward. Yeah, looking back on it, it was terrible. It wasn't the way to live. But I was determined that I was going to make some serious changes. I needed some help to get back into the gym and things, and so it was the time to make a decision and look for that support. It can be very daunting when you don't know what you're really looking for and you're out there looking for it. And got involved in the 30 plus boot camp and could see that it was a great bunch of lads there, but then started getting involved in the online plans. When you change your mindset and it becomes infectious. I was loving life again. Waking up on a Monday morning and actually being fresh, ready to go. I just knew these guys, they were right for it. They got it, they'd been there, they'd done it, so it was a simple decision. And nobody out there was helping 30 plus males like these guys. So the support in there is just fantastic. Knowing people that you can trust in a safe environment, non-judgmental people,
who've been there. You've got a community of people that have all been through the same stuff and just want to help each other in a safe, supportive environment. Wanting to make the change, once you've made that decision, that for me was the most important thing. I think it's fair to say if I hadn't have found these guys, then yeah, it'd have been curtains. I'd have been gone. I'd have been dead.
The thing is, people look at you as a trainer and they think that you don't have your own problems and issues, and you know, dude, that couldn't be further from the truth. Like, since my kids come along, I had a whole number of issues which I know last year I had to sort of step forward and address. And it was at a time where, you know, my son Elliot was in and out of hospital for 6 weeks. So our kids have always been in and out of hospital, and you know, things just got too much. And what I found I was doing is I was getting to a Friday and Saturday, or Saturday and Sunday even, and I was just drinking a lot in the house, you know, maybe sometimes up to like 10 cans of beer. And I wake up in the morning and be like, you know, what am I doing? But I was sort of telling myself, oh, Tregs, it's okay, because you know, you're a trainer, you got the tools. Tomorrow you go back to the gym and you train and you drink your 3 litres of water and you eat your greens, you know, and everything will be fine again. But this just kept going on, and you know, I decided it was time to get some help. So I actually found a CBT counsellor. I kept this very, very quiet, but I'm more open about it now, and all the lads know, and I think it's really helped them. I found a counsellor that dealt with addiction, like alcohol, drugs, and also food. And I went to see him, and I said, explain what I've been going through, and how, you know, I get to the weekends and I would just fall into a barrel of junk, and I just couldn't stop it. And I knew, you know, something had to be done. And you know, when I was working with my counsellor, I realised that at some parts in my life, or at some times throughout my life, I had all this under control. Especially when I was in my early part of my career as a trainer. Sort of been in the career in the industry about 3 years, and I was living on my own, and I was like any other single guy that lived on his own, right? No food in the house whatsoever. So I would just finish training every day about 8 PM, nip to the supermarket, you know, get some turkey breasts to stir fry, broccoli and some water, go home and cook it. And that was it. No temptation in the house, nothing. But of course, you know, I then met my partner Sarah, and then went on to have kids, and things changed. Like, yes, Sarah cooks lovely home-cooked food for the boys. We have lots of natural produce, but we do give them a little bit of junk. There are biscuits in the house. There was crisps in the house. And as a parent, and with the kids around, I just used to find that I would be getting in the cupboard, eating their food. As well as that is like the leftovers. You know, you're tired and they don't finish their food, you eat that. And it became a massive issue when I became a dad. Obviously growing a business as well, financial pressures, being tired, being overwhelmed, you know, trying to stay in half decent shape because you're trying to build a fitness business and you're trying to be the image of that business. And you know, it was getting out of hand, and that's when I got the help with Stephen. 1 year on, I can safely say that, you know, I've got these issues at bay. They're always going to be there, but I have made so much progress. But here's the interesting thing, right? And so many of our guys, you know, we got thousands of guys now in our programs, Mark, right? Now, so many of those guys have been in and around my programs for years. They've gotten great results, and all of a sudden they'll disappear. They'll come back 6 months later and go, oh, I put all the weight back on again. Or we'll do a new program and they'll start at level 1 again, when really they should be so far down the line. I'm thinking to myself, like, what is this? Like, our programs aren't unsustainable. All we do is we just recommend you eat real food, you stay hydrated, and you can work out from home initially, right? So they're not unsustainable. We're not asking guys to do anything unrealistic, but they're always going back to their old ways. And I thought to myself, well, this isn't a physical issue, this is a mental issue. And through my time, you know, working with my counsellor Stephen, and then from going to visit and watch Bob Proctor live in Arizona, I realised that it's your mind that you need to take control of. Some people call it the chimp, some people call it the paradigm, but it's your mind that you need to take control of. So for example, we have a guy in our program. This is just one example. He's been in and around my programs for years. He's 34 stone, so 34 stone. The heaviest I've ever been is about 17 stone, and I know how terrible I felt. Now this guy has a 3-year-old son, and he's been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. He also has a cardiomyopathy, and he's been told you're gonna die unless you change your ways. And he opened up in the group the other day and he said, I know all of this, and yet I can't stop eating junk. And you know, that just blows me away. And this is when you realize just how powerful and how dangerous the mind can be. And this is why in the last 12 months I've been recommending to certain clients, both privately and in the group, like, listen, this isn't about the physical, this is about the mental, okay? And you have to reach out. Please do not be embarrassed to reach out and get help. We can help you, but you've got to want to make the change. You've got to reach out. All right, guys, so we've just pulled up at, well, we're in Slough, and we're just going to Coach Anthony Lee's house, pick him up. I'm going to drop some stuff off because I'm going to be staying here for the next 4 days, and then we're on the way to Essex to catch up with Coach Russ, and we're all going to sit down together and bring you some epic stories about how all this thing is happening. All right, mate, we'll come round to the front now. All right, mate, take care, buddy. All right, guys, so we've just arrived in Loughton, Essex. We're just about to meet up with Coach Russ Boy, who's come into the business in the last sort of 18 months and really helped me just bring this whole bootcamp vision to life. Russ was one of my clients as well, found us online back in 2014, and his story is pretty epic too. So let's go and see him. I mean, Russ, I just can't believe it that, you know, you were a client a couple of years ago, and like in the last 15 months you've come into the business, absolutely blown everyone away with 30 Plus Essex. Yeah. You and Anthony have, you know, become joint owners of 30 Plus Berkshire. Together we've set up Scotland, or 30 Plus in Glasgow, North London, Telford is opening tonight. You know, we've both got a hand in Liverpool. Not to mention the retreats, mate. I always wanted to do the retreats, but I could never find the time. Yeah. You know, thanks to you, mate, coming in, putting everything together. I just turn up. You even give me pocket money. It's great. I don't have to carry anything. It's just, it really amazes me the way everything's happening so fast.
You're like a queen, aren't you? You don't carry cash.
No, I don't carry cash. Still sends a bit of a shiver down my spine. That time we were in Arizona, second day watching Bob Proctor, and it was just like, boom. It was like, he was asking us to stretch our minds, and I was like, well, why can't we help 1 million over 30s men? Like, literally, what is stopping us? It sounds crazy, but are there 1 million over 30s men out there that could do with our help? You know, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
And it was just a crazy moment. And from that point on, we've just been hell-bent on just driving this movement forward. And that's what we're going to continue to do, lads.
Exactly, yeah.
I can't believe that just a few months after setting up the free group, we've got probably close to 6,000 lads in there, 7 bootcamp locations with more which are going to be springing up, you know, very, very soon, and we're growing at a rapid rate. And
every day more people are joining.
It just blows my mind. It blows my mind the amount of guys that we can potentially help. I think the reasons why so many over 30s men find what we do is helping them is simply because, like, we are over 30s men going through those struggles, still do go through those struggles. We actually get them.
Yeah.
I mean, you came in as a client, didn't you, mate?
Yeah, yeah.
So you know.
Yeah, well, I found you, what, 3 years ago as a client, and I think all of us, we've got our issues, we've had issues, we've still got issues.
Sure.
And mine have been listed before many times, be it business or be it personal. I was looking for something that someone who understood me, and I found this chap online who can understand me.
What was it though, you know, when you saw the ad, what was it that made you go, right, I'm having a bit of that? Because it still fascinates me to get everyone's different stories.
Because you told a story of what you've been through. Sure. And I've been going through the same. So be it the fact I might have had depression at some point or whatever it was, you've been through it.
Yeah.
And you've been through it not because you're anything special, but because you're a human, normal human being.
Yeah.
And you didn't talk as if you were anything other than just you.
I think that's what I'm trying to be, from portraying it down to all the coaches, is look, to the guys out there that are watching, it's like we're just real over 30s guys, 40s in some cases. Sorry, we're just real over 30s guys just going through it. I mean, I've always said this, I don't put myself out there as like some superhuman trainer, like I haven't got a six pack. My goal is to try and stay fit and healthy, to be able to run around with my kids and then inspire other guys to do that, because you know, like there's so many guys that are literally, they're just doing nothing, they're sat on the sofa, they're so confused, they're so lost, they don't know what to eat, they think their best days are behind them, they're boozing too much, they're just in this rut, they're just completely lost. And I think, you know, that's where we come in with the home workouts, the body weight, the kettlebell stuff. And I think, you know, what we do is hugely adaptable.
The good thing is you can see other people have been through it.
Absolutely, yeah.
And actually this really works, and it's really good that we can now tell guys that this really works. They can come through it and they can become better people, healthier people, fitter people. And they've got, it's doable, it's not bullshit, it's what actually happens.
Real, it's real stuff. And what I think we do is it takes away all the confusion for that busy over 30s man.
The problem is it becomes overwhelming trying to change that yourself. And that's why, again, why there has to be a way of meeting people like-minded who can do it. Instead of going to Weight Watchers or Slimming World, those sort of places, because they're not like-minded, they're all different sorts. What we really want is like-minded, and as it happens, being men over 30, we're like-minded.
How many guys are there at home smoking 30 a day, drinking beers every night?
Every night.
Yeah.
Well, that happens all the time. Well, look at most of our clients. Our clients as were, who now have come to us and now transformed, they tell the same story. Our stories aren't that different.
Exactly. I mean, I quite often read the comments at the end of the day from the guys, and so many guys are saying, well, I wasn't going to do that workout today, I wasn't going to go for that run, but I lay in bed this morning feeling all sorry for myself and demotivated, and seeing all you thousands of guys doing your thing, and you've inspired me to get up and go and do it. And I always say this, the support, the accountability that you get with 30 plus men's fitness is completely like no other.
That's awesome. Yeah, and it's self, it just works itself without having to be pushed, because we guys like to support each other. We guys don't get support outside of 30 plus.
I think the thing is that maybe people watching this are thinking, well, this is just the way I am. They don't realise that there's thousands, hundreds of thousands, a million guys out there that are all going through the same thing, they're all stressed, they may be drinking too much, they're eating too much crap, and they're going, I'm going to start tomorrow, but then they got this voice saying, I'm not quite sure, and they're not reaching out.
Well, this community is the first time that I've seen that guys actually open up. Where else can you open up? You can't tell your family, you've got to be the strong one, you've got to be the one who controls.
100%.
And therefore, if you can't tell your family and your friends, you can't tell your friends, because I'm the big I am with my friends.
I've had a lot of lads comments I've read which have said, I've been lurking on the sidelines for a little bit in this group, but the support is just incredible, and this is my first post, and this is me, here I am, all 20 stone of me, and thank you for making me feel comfortable. Any tips, any advice is greatly welcome. And you know, I'm like, wow. One of the things I suppose that really has surprised me, even though it's like a health fat loss training group, is the actual depth that once people opened up, they were willing to go to. I mean, we've been online now for 3 years, and there's people opened up about alcoholism, big drug problems, gambling, you know, marriage breakups, counselling, attempted suicides. It's absolutely frightening.
But that's because it's a safe haven for them to open up about that.
Yeah, again, because they're not thought of badly. It's actually everyone wants to support. Once they get over the shock of, actually, I can speak freely in here. Then they think, well, now I can speak freely. Fuck it, I'm going to speak freely. And it all comes gushing out, and in a way that, again, no one judges, everyone supports.
And you know what? It's all too easy to, you know, go around with your own problems and think that life is hard. And then when you look at this group and people are just pouring out, and you think, well, actually, everyone's fighting their own battle. It just what degree, you know? And this is what I always say about 30 plus men's fitness. If you're over 30, it's highly likely that you've been through something. You've maybe been in a relationship and you got split and you're not with that person anymore. Maybe you don't see your kids. Maybe you've had an alcohol problem. Maybe you're, you know, addicted to watching pornography and jacking off every night. Maybe you're just addicted to gambling. Maybe you know that if you don't stop eating junk, you don't stop boozing, you're going to die, but you can't help it. And that's like we just want to provide that support network for these guys to actually post in there. Now look, we might not be able to cure everyone, but we're here to listen and we're here to support and to actually say to you, listen, you know what? there's 6,000 other guys in this group at the minute, and each one of us have got some pretty dark stories to tell. So look, when you feel ready, just come to us and we'll try and help you. I mean, I don't think there's ever been such a place online where over 30s men can feel so safe. I mean, look, we all love the banter, and it is sometimes like a bit like a kid's playground, and the silly memes, and then, you know, you have a bit of a moan, and you're all ribbing each other for your football team and all that kind of thing. But, you know, when guys truly open up with a serious post, it's just amazing, you know, and the fact it's a closed Facebook group, it just gives that security for guys to open up and feel safe and feel understood. This is exactly how I wanted it to turn out when I set 30 Plus up. You know, if Mark, I wish Mark would have had this community, you know, because if we didn't have the online community, which we were obviously working to develop, if we'd have had it, maybe he could have put a cry for help in. And you know, and that's why I'm so fucking passionate about driving this thing through, because I don't want anyone else to think that, you know, they haven't got the support and that they're alone, because they're not. You know, and there are hundreds of thousands of other guys going through the same shit, and we're here to listen. You know, I wonder about this daily, like, what if we'd have had this global community set up then? You know, where he could have maybe just posted in the closed environment of the group and said, you know, guys, I'm having a rough time here, because we get that daily with guys posting this stuff in, and he would have been given unlimited support. And I just wonder to myself, like, you know, if we'd have had this group then, would he still be alive? Because he's not alone, and we're all in this struggle together. Like, life is fucking hard in your 30s, financial pressures, kids, you know, quite often you're a sole provider. I know I am. I've been building a business with 2 kids under the age of 3.5 and a partner who's had to give up work because, you know, we got the 2 kids, and it's tough out there. And, you know, I get it. I get what it's like, and I know how fucking hard it is. So listen, guys, like, come and join us. There's 6,000 of us in this group at the minute, and it's growing every day. And, you know, we've got what you need. We have got what you need right here in this group. Myself and my team of over 30s coaches, we understand you. So come and join us. I was in a relationship, and I was about to, you know, move into this new apartment with this girl, and without going into too much detail, it all went a bit wrong, and myself and this girl didn't work out, and it was a really, really messy breakup. It was highly embarrassing for me, and it was a mess. You know, I'd taken out a years-long rental on this property to move in with this girl of my dreams, and it had gone completely tits up. And I remember getting home that day, and Mark was waiting for me, you know, outside the apartment. And you got to understand, is like, Mark didn't really show a lot of emotion. And he said to me, "Come here, Tregs, give me a hug." And I was like, whoa. And he said, "You know, dude, I've cried for you today." And I was like, what? He's like, "Dude, I've cried for you. Like, nobody needs to go through what you've been through." And like, he was there for me. And he said, "Come on, we're gonna go out and have a few beers." He didn't have any money, but I was used to pay for the beers, and we'd always end up in a curry house. And that night we went out, and, you know, and I sat there, I was sort of almost crying into my beer. I was just like head down with my pint, and I was like going, dude, like, what am I gonna do? Like, I thought I was gonna marry this girl. I thought I was gonna be settled. And like, feels like my life's over. And he just looked me in the eye and he said, "Tregs, listen," he said, "it is harsh what's happened." He said, "But you listen to me now." He said, "You go back to work on Monday, you do what you do best, and you just start training your clients again." And he looked me in the eye and he went, "Just keep trucking, my friend." And, you know, I remember it like it was yesterday. I've heard that phrase before, and I've heard it since. But it was so poignant to the kind of situation that I was in. Keep trucking. And that's exactly what I did. I went back to work and got on with my life and got on with training my clients. And when he passed away, and I think about this every day, like, I just think to myself, I think he was too embarrassed to tell me and a few other close friends of how he actually felt. I think he was too proud to open up. You know, to go to that place to take your own life and throw yourself in front of a train. I can't imagine what he was going through. And I feel, not regret, I don't know what I feel. I just feel that I just wish he had been brave enough to reach out. And you know, when Mark passed, I almost binned this whole idea. And I thought to myself, you know what? I've got my personal training business. I'm going to give up on this idea. But it was something. It was just, I've never been a quitter. I've never quit at anything. And I just had that voice in my head, keep trucking, Tregs. So that's why I'm doing it. And that's why, like, we're not going to stop. Morning lads, Tregs, Thursday morning here. We're in Highbury Fields. I never thought I'd have a boot camp right next to Arsenal's football club. And we're just about to touch down at our latest location, which is really doing great things with Coach Jason Tully. He was one of our original online members. He's now turned into a coach. And he's got the North London crew getting ready, getting warm. Let's go and see him.
Brilliant, and I just loved it. Loved all the banter. Mark was brilliant, and then I just carried on doing it, following the plans. And then Mark said, basically put out a mail on Facebook one day saying, "Is anyone interested in setting up a boot camp anywhere in your location? If you fancy doing it?" And I was always interested in coaching anyway, and always a massive football fan. Love it. I did like coaching the kids when I was younger as well. So I was like, yeah, why not give it a whirl? There's something else like outside of my normal job. And so why not, let's do it.
So we've just finished 30 Plus Boot Camp North London. Another amazing turnout in, I have to say guys, probably one of the best locations we've ever used at 30 Plus Boot Camp. Beautiful AstroTurf in a lovely location, sort of Highbury way, not too far from the Emirates I'm told. Really impressed with the setup that Jason has got. Great bunch of lads. And you know, the boot camp's only a couple of months old, so I'm buzzing, you know. It's everywhere we go. The 30 Plus spirit is alive, and yeah, I'm knackered this morning because it's such an early start, but just taking it all in, and it's just amazing.
What was life like before? It was, you know, I was an age, I was 50 a few years ago, and I just felt that life, that was it.
You know, I've tried every sort of diet you can imagine. I won't name names, but I've sat in circles of people confessing my diet sins and, you know, thinking, why is nobody in this group losing weight? Why am I here? What am I doing? You know, and it all seemed to be about who could eat the most junk food possible and still count it as part of the diet. I was like, this is not the way.
You look at fitness on the internet, and there's so many options out there. Which option is the best? I've lost count of the number of gyms I've joined and left.
And I'd tried several things for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and I just reached a limit. And then I was actually flying out to Germany just about 3 months before I started 30 Plus, and I couldn't fit the seatbelt on me. And that was a massive turning point in my life. You know, sitting in the airplane, couldn't have a seatbelt. I'm a pound off 25 stone. And I'm like, I don't want to be that guy. And it was really that sort of disgust at myself that motivated me. I've got to do something.
I didn't know where to search. You know, you go on Google, you know, fitness. And I was looking at fitness, and it just seemed to be aimed at people that were already fit. That, well, actually, no, I'm not fit. I want to get fit.
I did a little bit of looking around, and I thought, I want something that involves eating good food. I don't want to be hungry all the time. I want something that involves me doing exercise too. I don't just want to be thin, I want to be fit.
and it was very frustrating trying to find something that fitted with me and, you know, the job I did, the hours I work.
A couple of months searching, couldn't find anything, then 30 Plus just popped up on my Facebook.
30 Plus 7-day free trial. So yeah, I'll give some of that.
And I said to my missus, that's what I'm doing. She said, oh, you know, she was quite, you know, I'll be a couple of weeks, blah, blah, blah. And she wasn't trying to be rude, she just knew what I was like, you know. And I said, no, I'm going to do this for 6 months. If I see no changes in 6 months, I'll quit, but I'm not quitting until 6 months. I said, even if I die doing it, I'm going to do this for 6 months no matter what and see what happens. I had a very clear mental image of the kind of people who spend their Monday and Wednesday nights running around the park.
Yeah.
And that was not me.
No.
And I didn't know what they were going to think of me, how they were going to treat me, were they going to judge me for eating all the pies, you know, how was it going to be? And I was very nervous going there that first time. It really was hard, but it was a total surprise.
Yes.
Everybody was supportive. Nobody could have been more supportive.
I've lost about 3.5 stone, and it's changed my life completely.
I said, you realise I'm a bit heavier than most of the guys maybe that have come? He said, that's fine, just come along. And could barely even do the first sort of warm-up exercise. I'm like, man, this is stupid. But just everyone was very encouraging, and you know, so now in the last year, this has been a year since I'm doing 30 Plus now, 31st of March I think was the day I started. So just over a year I've lost nearly 8 stone. My whole life's different, you know, everything's different. The way I relate to my kids, my wife, walking down the street, everything has changed. You know, I'm stronger, I'm healthier, I'm fitter. I can't be more pleased with the results I've had from 30 Plus this year. No, I don't think I've ever been with a group of guys where everybody is so invested in everyone else's success.
Yes. That's, I think, the best thing about it. It's what draws you in, and it's what keeps you there.
Yeah.
I feel more alive, more so than at any point I can think of in the last 50 years.
Just can't be more pleased, and you know, I'm here for life now. This will be it. It's not 6 months. This is going to be my whole new lifestyle.
It's a remarkable thing that 30 Plus has done to me.
Yeah, my whole family's totally changed because of this. I came out this evening and my youngest son was doing bicep curls and he was lifting his weights. I go down the gym Monday, Wednesday and Fridays now with John, and we have a great time. When I come back, 6 AM I come back, my daughter is up waiting for me. I want to eat what you eat, Dad. I want to have the chicken, I want to have the protein, I want to have this. And it's just, they eat a lot less junk food now. I'm cooking food with vegetables, and you know, it's just fantastic. It really is awesome.
Morning lads, it's Trakes here once again. It's been an amazing week on tour, going around all of our boot camps, but we're not done yet. We're on the final day in the final location that we're visiting. We're here at 30 Plus Boot Camp, Liverpool. We're about to jump in the car and head down there. It's a beautiful sunny morning in Sefton Park, and I can't wait to see all the lads. Let's go. So back in, it must have been September or October 2015, Coach Anthony Lee, who's a good friend of mine, as you know, and myself, we went over to the States, to Arizona, to see Bob Proctor, who's a motivational speaker. We went to see him for 3 days, and basically, if you don't know too much about Bob, he contributed to a book called The Secret, which had a massive impact on my life, and it's all about visualization, deciding on what you want and then taking the action to go after it, but also literally keeping hold of this vision every day. And, you know, things were going well, we were helping a lot of guys, and I went over there, and the funny thing is that I actually couldn't afford to go to this seminar. I'd actually spent my my budget for the year on, you know, having mentors and things like that, and business coaches. And this seminar came up, and Anthony said, "We've got to go." And I said, "Anthony, I've spent my budget for the year, and I can't do it." He said, "I'm going to pay for you, and then you're gonna square me up when you can." So I was like, "Wow!" So we flew to Arizona, and we saw Bob speak on stage. Now this guy is 83 years old. Just digest that for a second. 83 years old. And the guy delivered with such passion, energy and enthusiasm for 3 days. 83 years old. And it blew me away. And you know, I'd done this visualization before, and it helped me a lot with growing my business and helping more over 30s men. But what Bob actually did for us is he told us to stop and take yourself out of your own head with your business back home, and actually start to think about where you want to take yours. And I worked on this thing called stretching your mind, and we had to do these exercises half an hour at a time, stretch your mind, you know. And he said, I want it to be uncomfortable. I want you to set a goal which is really uncomfortable. Don't worry about how you're going to achieve it, just set this goal. And I was just there, and I felt so inspired by the man. You know, a guy that is over twice my age, just owning the stage. And I just came up with the idea of helping 1 million over 30s men. Now, it scared the life out of me. It still does. I still don't know how we're going to do it. I know that this documentary we're making here is going to be a big vehicle in helping me reach more over 30s men. But I sat there and I thought, this is crazy. And then they asked us to put our hands up if we wanted to announce what we decided to do. I put my hand up, and they got me up, and I said on the microphone in front of thousands of people, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to make it happen. And it was an incredible moment. It was a very, very scary moment, and I sat there and I thought about it, and I thought, maybe it's not that crazy. I know there's 1 million over 30s men out there that can do with our help. I know there's 1 million over 30s men out there that have got kids, they're struggling with their health, they're struggling with their fitness, they don't want to go to a gym. I know that because more and more people are coming to our program every day, and they're telling me the same things. So I know that there are that amount of guys out there that we can help. So I put it out there, and I came back and I took inspired action on it. I set up the free global community, which we now have 6,000 men in, and things just started to move very quick. More and more men are joining our global community every day, and I'm holding on to that vision of helping 1 million over 30s men. Not just 1 million over 30s men and that's it, period. This is by the end of 2018 when I turn 40. That's the goal for then. And then when I get to 40, we'll set a new goal, and we'll just keep pushing, we'll keep trucking and keep recruiting new over 30s men into our program, and hopefully keep on changing their lives.
So about 3 years ago I had weight loss surgery. I was just touching on 40 stone, worked a really busy job, basically surviving, didn't do any exercise, just worked and hid myself at home because I was so embarrassed the way I looked.
Prior to the 12-week plan, life was a struggle in many ways.
When I found 30 Plus, it was because I was looking for something different to do, a different way to train than I'd ever trained before. But then the kids came along and it all sort of goes out the window because you just don't get the time anymore to do that kind of thing.
At 40 stone I was a 72-inch waist. Literally could walk 100 yards and I'd be knackered, my back and my hips would be killing me.
Before you start eating properly and stop drinking and you start exercising regularly, you don't appreciate how rubbish you really feel. But waking up every morning when you think, oh, I shouldn't have had that one glass of wine, that then turned into, oh well, we might as well just finish the bottle off. So actually waking up not feeling hungover, waking up feeling bright and ready to face the day is a great feeling now, which I hadn't appreciated. This was a struggle before because you kind of get used to it.
So I went and had the surgery done, spent the first year and I was dropping probably a stone a month. and then decided I need to start getting my fitness levels up. So it was late one night, seeing the adverts on Facebook for 30 Plus Boot Camp, and thought I'd come and give it a go. It was, all honestly, I was probably about 25 stone, terrified of turning up, but the lads were just so amazingly welcoming.
It spoke to me because it was talking to me. Somebody over the age of 30, had kids, life has changed. You know, it sounded totally different. Surprised myself and I did really well, and I lost the 1.5 stone in the first 3 weeks and got to where I wanted to be.
Really got me involved, really supported me, and made me feel like I could actually do something with myself and I could achieve things. And I've just carried on that confidence, and they've supported me all the way through. And I've dropped a further 5 stone since I've been doing boot camps.
And I just really enjoyed the way of exercising, plus the banter online with the lads. It was completely new to me, to be honest with you. Completely new to me, and you know, the nature of the guys in there, everyone helps each other. There's no judgment or anything like that, and it really stuck with me, and it's why I've stuck with it to this day, to be honest with you. From helping yourself, you end up helping other people.
And I'm just so much fitter, so much better. Get to spend time with family, run around after a little daughter, play with her, chase around the garden, chase around the park, and it's just made my life so much better.
Now I have the tools, I have the knowledge to cope with life and all that it throws at you. There's plans and there's a future and there's goals I'm setting myself to keep myself going.
We are like brothers. We've all bonded. We've got a really good crack going on in the boot camps, and it's a sense of community as well. It is touching people, and you can see because there's new guys in there every day, and I think there's over 6,000 now. From, you know, I remember just a little while ago it was around 3,000 and we were pushing for 5, and it's just growing all the time. But it is fantastic, it really is.
It doesn't matter what your background is, where you're from, they support you 100%. And you can't get that anywhere else. I'm probably in the best physical shape I've been in 20 years. And I've still got a way to go, but I know that if I carry on with boot camp and carry on with all the groups that Mark does, like the muscle up and stuff, I'll be better and better. And I'm a shadow. I'm 20 stone down now, so I'm a shadow of my former self. And I've never felt this good in 20 years.
Do you know of anything else out there that's helping guys like this?
Not like this, to be honest with you. No, I don't. Not like this. Nothing through. I mean, there are boot camps which will help them get fit. I don't think there's anything that goes as far to touch the personal lives as 30 Plus, to be honest with you. And that's being perfectly honest.
I want to be around for my daughter. That's the important thing. For daughters, I'm a partner. And make sure that I can give them everything that they want. And that's what the boot camp's helping me do that. It's giving me the confidence as well to believe in myself.
Alright guys, Treg's back here again. Well, what can I say? 8 days on, we've visited 6 different 30 Plus boot camp locations. We started in Cardiff in my hometown, and we finish here today on a beautiful sunny afternoon in Liverpool. It's been epic to get out there and meet all of my boot campers. Great to meet so many clients, see how my coaches are doing things in their areas. And now it's time to go home. I can't wait to see my boys, I can't wait to see the family. It's been far too long. I'm looking forward to the chaos. I've had some great sleep while I've been away, but I'm looking forward to just going home and just getting in the mix with the chaos. This journey is just starting. The goal to reach and help 1 million guys in the next 3 years is well and truly underway, and we keep trucking and we keep pushing this amazing movement forward. Keep trucking, guys.